it's MK and I am back with another kit conspiracy layout for you guys today. Still working with the Kiasercraft Workshop inspired kit that Janet and I have created. And today I'm going to do a couple pocket pages for you guys today. So I'm going to do the front and back of this one here. I have two wood grains picked out because they're kind of sort of matching pages because it's all about the same theme. As far as what's going on in the photos. So the next one up is these this page protector that has 3 horizontal 4x6s and then 1 huge 6x12, which is my favorite that I get from scrapbook.com in case you guys are curious. Now, I also thought that I was going to have time before I went over my 1 hour mark of making a layout. I thought I was going to have time to do this 12x9 layout as well. So I went ahead and threw in all the papers, the whole kit, what I have left over from this entire kit. I'm basically going through them for you guys. I have some full sheets, lots of full sheets left over actually, which is awkward. But I don't know. I barely used any of this paper. This pipe paper, I'm thinking about fussy cutting, but I'm not sure about that because I like the idea of fussy cutting it and then having it go across a 2-page layout. What do y'all think? I think that should happen. So anyways, I have the sticker book, and inside the sticker book is a whole bunch of stuff that I've already fussy cut from this collection. I have some papers that are left over that I cut here and there and everywhere. I have branding strips left over, half sheets of paper left over, like this sheet here. I've got barely any borders, stickers left, but I do still have my full alpha sheet. Well, not full. I've used it on 2 layouts, I think. I think so. Yeah. Like I said, this collage paper I cut up because I actually used the images separately from the collage portion of it, if that makes any sense. I have mostly the words left over here. And yeah, let's get started. So I'm going to treat this like it is a 2-page layout. I'm just trying to decide if I like the lighter or the darker, but you're going to see both. So one of them is going to be a single page because it's going to be the front. And then the double page is going to be this, 6 vertical 4x6s, and then the full page of the 3 horizontal and 1 6x6. So what I did off camera, which I should have left in here, you guys, and I apologize about that, but my son kept coming in needing help with his math homework. So what I did was on the one that has 6 vertical photos, I cut off the 2 blank pockets. I mean, they're blank. What was I going to do except for decorate them? I felt like that was unnecessary, especially when 2 of the pockets had 4x4 photos inside, which means more decoration. So I thought, you know what? I've already got a title-ish going on for this cluster of photos. I've got tons of photos of the process of our patio being built. Now, we decided to take the entire front portion of our house and I don't know, about maybe 15 feet out. I'm not really sure. I'm terrible about distance, you guys, but about 15 feet away from our house and the whole length of our house. And we turned it into one giant patio, which is amazing during the 4th of July because then people can come and they dance while the DJ is across the street at a paid. I'm sorry, this gets me every time. People go over and pay for all the things that are happening across the street at the marina that I live across. But it's so loud and so entertaining that we get it for free. And so we kind of just sort of hang out at the house during Halloween, during 4th of July, during it all. And, the patio has just suited us well. It's great for photos. It's great for, putting out picnic tables. Is that what they're called? Oh my gosh. I just had a blank. Putting out the tables and chairs, putting out, I've got the wicker lights, the canela lights. Anyways, the bug scented lights. It's gorgeous, you guys. And I'm so glad I did it. I don't care what anybody said, or, even my ex-boss drove by. I say ex-boss because I don't work for that company anymore, but even he drove by and said, and wanted to know what in the world was I doing. Because it took 2 days and 4 cement trucks to come in and pour all of this cement. And then the gentleman went through and pressed it so it looks like pavers. And I am in love with what they did, you guys. And I was in the window peeking out of it and, taking pictures from inside, from outside, walking all around, trying not to get into their, in their way or anything like that. And I just loved watching these guys work. And it took 4 days, because they came out, and the first day was the forming, and they put down gravel. They had 2 trucks of gravel come in and leveled everything out. The first guy came in the day before and actually brought a skid steer. The same skid steer that, it was our contractor. Him and his son actually came out, brought the skid steer out and got rid of the highs of our front yard, and basically left the skid steer there for the whole project because he knew there was going to be a cleanup afterwards. And that was the skid steer that we borrowed to do our backyard at the same time as we were doing our front yard. And then the husband said, never again are we going to do 2 projects at once. I thought it was great. I thought it was fun, but he not so much. So that's okay. All right. So what I did was off camera, I cut up all of my papers because that is truly boring. I just cut them to fit inside all the pockets. Then I cut my photos down 1/8 of an inch on all the sides. So that way I have a little bit of border for the pattern paper to shine through. But I also took it another step and took my edge distresser and distressed all of the edges. Now, because photos are made of a different type of paper, or different process of paper. I'm not really sure exactly the right words to say about that. I did rip my photos quite a bit, and then I had to glue them down in certain spots. Now, you can't see them. I'm just telling you guys that if you're going to take your edge distresser to your photos, please be careful, because you can, especially the size, the edge distresser that I use gouges, rips into my photo. So just a FYI. Now, with these 2 photos on my 6x12 pocket, I actually did not distress those edges. I cut out some of my dark blue pattern paper, and I distressed those edges and then glued my photos to them, kind of like a mini layout. Then I took a border that I only had a few gears left of. I took that border and I went ahead and I cut out all the gears because it worked better as these little gears rather than a full-size border. I didn't want it in just one spot. I wanted it in several because I'm treating this like a 2-page layout. Now, with my leftover blue paper, I basically just ripped 2 ends off so that way I could have it on the top and the bottom of my photos over there in the 4x6 pockets. That is what I was making while I was babbling. And honestly, I just did the top and the bottom because I didn't really want to photo mat them. I didn't want another mat on top of the wood grain mat that they were already on. I just wanted a small border to differentiate between this is an embellishment rather than part of the photo type of deal. That's all I did. And then, of course, I'm terrible about banners, but let's put one on my layout anyways because there's a blank spot. Why not? I don't know the purpose of them, but I'm going to call it good right there. It feats no purpose, but a decoration. And that's it. It looked like a blank spot. And yeah, some of the words don't really go like, I'm very happy that this is happening. I was stoked the entire process of this patio. They did have to do it in 2 days because it was such a large amount of cement that came in that they did all of the cement, and then it has to sit for a little bit before you can start pressing because you want that press to kind of, you don't want it to be too soft because then you can't get your mold out and press more. And what they do is they have 3 molds, and they basically they put all 3 in a row, and then the guy takes this big old huge pouncer thing, and he walks on them. And then he does that for the whole process. And then, of course, they brought out 3 more, so that way after they did the second pour, they pounced again. And they started in the center and worked their way out to the end and up towards the house. And so it's fabulous. And they formed my stairs for me. So I no longer have, a 3 foot by 3 foot little pad to walk in where the door took up most of the space. I hate those, you guys. I'm sorry. Every house comes with them. It's the bare minimum. But if you're going to put the bare minimum, then why is it fully under the door when the door takes up most of that space? At least move it over a foot. So when the door opens, you can still be on that top step. I don't know, you guys, but it definitely drove me nuts. So now it goes all the way from the corner of our house, which is our little door sits in a kind of a little corner. So it goes from the corner all the way to our bay window. And so I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And they are wider steps, so they're not, pleasing to sit on, but I do like how they match the house. They go with the house. And so I'm very, very happy with it. Once the add-on is finished, which I keep talking about this add-on, but there's a lot of rules and regulations living in an HOA that I have to pass and be approved of before you can even start digging in the dirt. It's like my property, I own it, but yet I can't dig in the dirt until I get permission to and pay the fees to do it. Seriously? Anyways, but I love living in my association. I just don't love the fees that come with it and all the permissions to come with it. So yes, once we get past all the red tape, then our hole will be dug. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And then the patio is also going to be extended all the way across that one as well, you guys. Another 30 feet by 15 feet. I'm so stoked. Plus the fact that we have to pay by the gallon for our water. So doing this in the front yard, it gives quite a good curb appeal, but I don't have to worry about putting down a barrier, pulling in a bunch of rocks, and then the barrier deteriorates after a while, and then I have weeds within the rocks. That is a lot of the landscape that you will see around here is a desert landscape. I prefer the concrete jungle. In a sense, our wet, luxurious jungle is in the backyard where we have kind of more of privacy and it's just beautiful back there. But as far as our front yard, I would rather like it looking nice, neat, and clean, especially when the noxious weeds come in from the neighbors' yards and we get fined for those as well. So living in an HOA, woo! Anyways, so I have moved on. The other side of my vertical 4x6 pockets was all photos. So I just totally ignored it, you guys. Pointless showing you guys. I matted a bunch of photos on this dark wood grain. Ta-da! So I just moved on to this 6x4, which is them actually kind of sort of finishing, but what they're doing now is adding color. So the cement comes on gray, and before they poured the cement, they put this color within the cement mixing truck. So I got a reddish gray, which it looked all gray, but it was red, I swear. And then what he's doing now is he's putting on an extra layer. So the top layer is like the true color that I initially wanted. When they mixed it, it kind of sort of mixed with the gray that a cement normally is. And so you don't get the true color, but if it was to crack or anything like that, the color shows all the way through the cement as opposed to just the top layer being red and then the crack shows the gray. So that's why they do the whole mixing thing. You guys, it was fascinating to me. And the contractor that comes in, he's an amazing guy, by the way, one of my husband's friends. And he has no problem explaining to us what we're doing or what they're doing and everything that's going on. It's awesome. And so I learned quite a bit about all this process. And then, of course, The way that those cement guys take that really long, it's almost like a 4-foot across spatula, and it swivels on the end, and they just take it and they put it on the cement, do like 4 little swipes, and bam, it's crystal smooth. Like, oh my gosh. And it's just amazing. It fascinated me, right? And then they went through and perfectly went through and made these little divots. So that way, when the cement cracks, they're basically telling the cement, I want you to crack here if you do. And so I've got maybe 5 by 5 sections out of all of this. And it's just awesome looking. I don't know how to say it anymore. It is just awesome looking, and I can't wait until the second half is actually done, which will be, again, probably in 4 pours this time instead of 2, because it is quite a bit more. Oh, I'm so excited. We haven't quite figured out what we're going to do from the end of the cement to our fence line. We haven't discussed that yet because we really don't want to put anything that is going to grow too tall, because we love our view of the lake across the street. So we definitely don't want to do anything, but I know I want something. Grass is probably not an option because it's just too dry where we live, and the water value is skyrocketing. It would cost an arm and a leg if we grassed our whole property. So anyways, I took the collage paper and decided to add that as kind of just a little decoration on the top and the bottom. I took the rest of my blue ripped paper, again, put it on the top and the bottom because I did not want to put a photo mat around the photo. I thought that if I put clusters around the photo instead, that it would still be visible and seen without the photo mat. So I love it. And then I'm taking all of these extra pieces that I had cut off from, I think yesterday's. Did I fussy cut those yesterday? I don't remember now. It seems like so long ago. But yes, these are the fussy cut gears and wheels that I fussy cut from that gear and wheel paper. Yes, that's what it is. And I'm just adding them to, gluing some down, popping some up. I'm not using too thick of some Pop Dot because this is going to go into a pocket page. Now, I do have to say that at the end when I'm showing you guys this, I put everything back in the pockets. I don't know why. I think because I wanted to show you guys a finished product instead of just here's my 4x6 layout, or here's my little 6x12 layout, that sort of thing. And that small little one that I just put on does end up popping off. And I'm sorry, I didn't realize that I got busy doing something. How rude. Get back to the layout, please. Thank you. So anyways, sometimes I get so interrupted. My son was having problems with his homework, you guys, and I finally had to go to the internet to look up this equation that he was trying to solve. I was trying to solve it one way. He's trying to do it the way his teacher tells him. And the weird part is we both came up with the same answer. My way was wrong because he has to show it a specific way to his teacher. Explain this to me, people. I don't know. But here's where my little gear fell off as I was showing you guys. I popped it back on real quick so I could continue to show you guys the close-ups of the finished layouts. I thank you guys so very much for hanging out with me today and listening to me talk about my amazing patio. I'm so sorry. It was the highlight of 2020 for me, you guys. Seriously, I loved this. Absolutely. And this was before everything that happened by far. So thank you so much for joining me today. I'm not sure what Janet has up her sleeve, but I am absolutely in love with the layouts that she has come up with so far. If you guys haven't checked her out yet, her channel is linked down below, so you can see all of her videos that she has for creating with this kit. And I will check y'all tomorrow. Bye.